Alright, so what are we doing today?
We were watching Dr. Caligari.
This one says the first true horror movie.
Ooh.
German Expressionism, 1920, which means it's public domain. So we shouldn't get any copyright strikes. Because everything before 1924 is public domain. Guess it's the first real horror movie. It's the first, twist ending movie. So that's exciting. And I don't know about this from being a film student or anything like that. I know about this from Rob Zombie because the music video for Living Dead Girl is kind of modeled after this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's how I learned about this movie, and then it sounded interesting. The following print of the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari with the original color tinting and toning was reconstructed by the Bundesarchiv Filmarchiv of Germany.
Glad you were reading that.
Why?
Because I would not have been able to.
Oh, to say the German words?
Yes.
Oh, and I did check. That's the title cards are in English.
That's important.
Yeah. It's a little loud, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, a film in 6 acts, so we could potentially film this in 6 parts. But I don't think it tells you when each act starts.
Oh.
Written by Karl Mayer and Hans Janowitz. Berlin. I have to say this stuff so Colleen knows where we are.
Ah.
I feel like the style of these cards are trying to be a little like expressionism too.
Yeah.
They're very artistic. I'm really into this soundtrack already.
I agree. It's very atmospheric.
Alright, we're looking at the cast list right now. I think too, this soundtrack especially, because I have this on DVD, and there's 2 soundtracks. There's like a more traditional soundtrack, and then like the alternative, like more modern soundtrack, which I think is what we're listening to right now, is the more modern one. This definitely sounds more electronic than like having an orchestra.
I feel like it's a lot. It's very clear.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't expect it to be if it was the original.
This is one of those movies though where like the title cards are up for so long you could read it like 5 times over
Yeah.
before it changes. The first one I watched didn't have any soundtrack at all. It was just complete silence.
I feel like the soundtrack definitely adds to it. Not gonna get the same effect without it.
And it was only 6 minutes long, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Oh.
I meant the first one I did for a video. That is my fiance. She doesn't really seem all that aware of that fact.
No, she seems very out of it. In another world.
Well, we're gonna get story time now. He's going way back. How would you like to live there, though? Isn't that fantastic? It's just like someone took all the houses and just piled them up.
I say that's like way too many people.
Everything's all on one hill. It's the whole town.
It's like if Gondor was like top.
I like how this guy's terrified and the other guy's like, what? I think it'd be fun to make soundtracks for silent movies.
Yeah.
Like compose the scores and stuff. Performing it's kind of difficult because your timing has to be so precise.
Yeah.
I know this from experience. Entertainments of every variety.
Did the German cards look the same as the English ones?
I don't know. The DVD I have kind of explains like why they made the cards look this way, and I think they were trying to imitate the look of the original cards,
Yeah.
but I'd have to go back and check. Because like when we watched Nosferatu, it was very much like just text.
Yeah.
Whereas these are
There
like
wasn't really any artistry involved.
yeah. Maybe when we have to stop the video, I'll go and get the DVD and see
Yeah.
what it says on there. The town clerk is in a vile temper. Dr. Caligari. Wait! This is definitely like a modern
Yeah.
composition, this music. Look at the stool he's sitting on.
I feel like I would also be in a vile Templar if I was sitting on that stool.
I was thinking it's fantastic.
It looks super uncomfortable though.
A somnambulist. Is that how you say that?
I certainly do not know. Sounded good to me.
I would just like play the soundtrack,
Yeah.
just in general.
It's enjoyable.
None of this can be used in the video, and I just keep talking about the music. We can't play it.
That thing we did in art class. with the light-
Perspective.
There we go! I mean, not in all ways, but in some of it, I feel
But
like.
it's like the perspectives are all skewed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, not like a real perspective, but like a
A fake perspective.
forced fake perspective, yeah. Now, I totally looked this up, but what is a somnambulist?
Like a sleepwalker.
Ah.
So I got my DVD copy, and it says the English translation titles are graphic reproductions of the hand-painted expressionist titles, which were an especially striking feature of the 1920 release. So they were made to
Stylized
look
after it,
like
yeah.
the original ones. Says although they had been replaced by plain white on black titles in the 1923 reissue in an effort to normalize the film,
But that's not the point of the film.
they tried to make it basic.
I feel like that takes so much away from it.
It does. Act 2.
Did you start?
I did. Mysterious crimes are taking place.
I don't know why, I just love that window.
Murder!
Oh no.
Oh, it's the town clerk.
Stabbed in the side with a strange pointed.
Oh, it's going.
It's like adding suspense. Instrument.
I don't know if that was worth the
a lot
suspense.
of build-up for nothing.
I think there was a note about the music on here too. Yeah, it says a new musical score inspired by
So I wonder how much it kept with the old one, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I realized I stopped that sentence at an awkward place. So it's inspired by music. Music inspired by music. That was pretty redundant. But it says music inspired by German avant-garde music from the early 20th century.
So not the music that was originally the soundtrack, just
something of the time. Yeah. And also like extra artsy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's because what I watched on the disc is the same as what this looks like, so I'm assuming it's probably the same rip.
Yeah. So this guy's just never awake?
Apparently. He's 23 years old and he's slept for 23 years. Sounds fake.
Also, if they're traveling around with this gentleman and he's performing this awakening,
Then he's awake.
he's not been sleeping for 23 years.
Unless he's not like really awake. Fully.
He's half awakening.
Yeah. Like me in the morning.
Ah. He has not had his coffee yet.
It's an artistic representation. I feel like, I'm going to talk about the music that we can't play again. I feel like at this point it could be a little softer, rather than still like.
Definitely. I
You
agree.
know?
I feel like there should have been a bell at that point.
Yeah, like some sound effects to go along with what's
Yeah.
happening.
Which apparently they're doing there.
So he makes Cesare sleep in a cabinet.
I'm guessing this 23-year-old some
Somnambulist.
somnambulist is who you're referring to.
Yeah, that guy. So I guess the point is he's like awake, sort of, not really. So this is like the sleepwalking portion instead of being in the deep sleep.
I was gonna say, this is like reminding me of when you're like a kid and you're like sleepwalking. Did you guys ever do that? I don't know, it was something like we did at my daycare. Not like we did, but like people would do it. I don't know why. You know,
And you
kid
like instead
shit.
of nap time,
No.
you were just playing
like, they
around.
would mime sleepwalking.
Oh,
I have no answers. It was a thing.
okay. So I guess being asleep for that long gives you all the answers of the universe.
You gain omnipotence.
Yeah, that's what it's saying. It's like he doesn't exist in the conscious realm. He's like in some kind of
He's
higher
living crystal ball.
world.
Like how they're like losing their marbles.
That's such a basic question.
Really is.
That's not a very basic answer. I wouldn't mind living in this world personally.
Too many people.
But there's the same. I mean, there's more people in the real world, and it doesn't look as fantastic.
Yeah, but you're like right next to the people.
I don't know if it was a town like that, I wouldn't mind. Not with the murder though.
Oh, I was figuring as much. Is that his wife or fiance?
His fiance from the beginning.
So awful with faces, and the quality doesn't really help that.
They've also only given us the names of 3 people so far. We've got Dr. Caligari, Cesare, and friend Alan.
Yes. Who thus far isn't really relevant, I feel like.
He's like us.
He's
Hearing
just
the story. Yeah. You know what this world looks like? It looks like when a kid draws a house.
It looks like Tim Burton as a child drawing a house.
But he wasn't inspired by this at all.
Not at all, no.
Oh dear, now we've got a love triangle.
This is a different Alan?
The guy from the beginning must not be Alan. We must have been talking about Alan when he was starting to tell his story.
Okay.
We'll leave the like we aren't gonna leave the choice up to who she marries to her at all.
Isn't that what it's saying there?
It is. I'm saying like it's implying that otherwise they wouldn't have done that.
Ah.
You see what I'm saying?
I suppose.
Like we'll let her pick. Like that's like a pact
We'll
they're
allow
making.
her.
Yeah, yeah. Seems to me if he saw this coming, he had a good chance to escape.
Given how much he seemed to believe that this was going to be his last night upon Earth, given his reaction when it was foretold to him, I feel like I would remain awake for the rest of that evening. If I actually believed that, I don't think I would spend the rest of my life sleeping.
But also, if someone tells you you're going to die that night, they can also make it so.
Well, also accurate, however.
Yes. All right. Okay, Alan is dead. So we must have been lamenting about Alan at the beginning. Like, oh, my friend Alan. My poor friend who I
okay.
miss. This is where instead of calling the cops, you just take pictures of the body.
Obviously. Send out skull fragments. I was quite distraught, and then I went out and bought a camera.
Oh gosh. Colin's gonna have to like edit out everything we say and just play the movie.
So now we're just playing movies on our channel.
Yeah. She'll be like, you can't say that. Apparently everyone sits on chairs like that in this world. These must be the authorities. You can tell by their mustaches.
I was thinking the same thing!
I can't, because like the costumes and everything in here are obviously like supposed to be like 1800s, but the movie music is super like 20s jazz. It's
yes,
a little... There's a normal sort of chair. They all got dressed in a real quick hurry. Presumably it's the middle of the night, right?
I was figuring so. I thought that's why it was tinted like that green color.
I think that's the pointed instrument.
I suppose there's potential for it.
They seem to think so. They seem to think so.
I feel like the evidence they have isn't really very solid.
Worried because her father has been away so long.
So is her father the one they arrested? Or just another dead person?
I didn't think so. I'm not sure how this logic adds up.
I was wondering the same thing.
They already don't know who the murderer is. So was he just trying to get rid of the old woman just because of other reasons?
Like, did he have a reason to get rid of her, so he decided to jump on the murder train and hope someone else will get blamed?
Well, it didn't work out for him, did it? That guy's face says it all.
I do not think I would follow that man into a tent.
I mean, it took her a while, but I guess she got the right idea. I'm glad they told us it was nighttime because we didn't figure that out already from the green tint.
I feel like it would have made more sense if they did that in the first green tint, so it would give you the idea that anytime it was tinted green, it was night.
Mm-hmm. Where'd the pointy instrument
I
go?
was wondering that. I also feel like some of the suspense was taken out of all of it, knowing that she survives.
Oh yeah, because we saw her at the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why she was so...
I mean, I can see how it could be frightening.
Well, go on. Go after them.
Did he knock her out?
I think she's supposed to have fainted.
Ah.
That's actually a thing that can happen. Like, if you get so, like, worked up, you could just, like, pass out. That is actually a thing.
I feel like it's a trope that's much more heavily relied upon in, like, older stories than it is now. I don't know if people fainted more often in the olden days, or... I mean, I guess corsets could potentially lead to some of that, but...
Okay, and Act 4. Act 5.
Cannot be good for your back.
No. But the thing is too, we've also been talking like least during like I guess the bigger plot sections.
I'm watching.
Yeah, well, it's the more important parts that we
yeah. Which I guess is not very good for a commentary, but I thought they'd already established that he wasn't the murderer.
I must see him.
Honestly, in general, his character is reminding me of Danny DeVito in the Tim Burton Batman.
The penguin?
Yes!
Oh, look, it's a dummy.
Oh.
Just throws it. Alright, watch the translation that comes up.
Ew.
To that door.
It's a pretty fantastic door.
Oh, look who it is!
Dun dun dun!
Oh, look, they turned the light on.
Fancy. And there's a skeleton hanging on the wall.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this kind of environment is not what you want in a mental hospital.
Not really,
With
no.
like all the non-linear walls.
Kind of like what we were discussing earlier. With the environment you're in can really affect how your mental problems manifest.
In the year 1783, a mystic by the name of Caligari toured the fairs of numerous villages in northern Italy, accompanied by a somnambulist named Cesare.
Ooh.
For months, he sowed panic amongst village folk through a series of foul murders committed under almost identical circumstances. Do you think that's actually what they're supposed to be reading, or is that just like the synopsis version for our benefit?
I feel like probably the synopsis version. I think that text is too large.
He had entirely subjugated to his will a somnambulist named Cesare, whom he did compel to carry out his nefarious schemes. A puppet, the exact likeness of Cesare, and which took his place in the cabinet, allowed him to divert any suspicion. I personally don't want to say somnambulist again.
I thought the somnambulist was the one that was sleeping.
Yes. It's Cesare. Finally! A somnambulist has been brought to the asylum for admission. He's a little too excited about this.
Yeah.
That poor guy. He's so excited he just like ripped his book. That's creepy. I shall unravel the psychiatric secrets of this Caligari. I shall soon discover if it is true that a somnambulist can be compelled to perform acts that, in a waking state, he would never commit. It just sounds like he really wanted to kill some people, but not actually kill people himself.
Also, if this guy never wakes up, how do we know what he would truly find repugnant anyway?
That was a good point. No, so why did he
He's
keep
not very nice to his bugs.
No. I must become Caligari. You must become Caligari.
Funny that they didn't do anything about making that in English at all.
Yeah, they didn't even give us a translation.
No.
It's okay,
They
we
could
did.
have like put up a title card with it or something.
Or like it did before with the asylum sign.
Yeah.
End of Act 5. Act 6. This guy's my favorite. On the far left.
Yes.
His face says, disappointed but not surprised.
Accurate.
We found the sleepwalker out in the fields. Dun dun dun.
Why is he allowed to be out and about?
Unmask yourself! You are Dr. Caligari. Well, they haven't really confronted him yet. They found all the stuff by reading his diary.
I thought they'd locked him up already at that point.
No, he was asleep in his villa.
That stance. Stepping on his books.
Obviously, assaulting people is how you get out of these situations.
Obviously. Also, how strong is this individual if it's taking this many? Was it 7 of them there? As he just stands there?
Well, that wall looks like amoeba. Well, I guess now he's a patient in his own asylum.
That is quite the door.
So now we're back to the beginning.
If we're implying that his fiancée became in the state that she was in due to the events that just transpired, and she was not his fiancée at that point.
She wasn't, because she never chose him or Alan.
She doesn't even have the mental capacity to choose at this point, it seems.
That guy's face, though. It was the first time we know her name.
That's an interesting lipstick.
I'm into it. The end. What? What do you think of that ending? Alright, take 2 trying to record the ending since the camera battery died. And I was saying that it was the first kind of movie to use an ending with that kind of plot twist.
I do feel like they endeavored to portray that in the way he appeared at the end versus how he appeared in the bulk part of the movie, just in the fact that like those gloves you commented on, the Mickey Mouse gloves, he wasn't wearing them any longer, and like he had like those like black stripes in his hair throughout the course of the movie that he didn't have at the end, as opposed to the main character whose appearance kind of did the reverse, and he kind of looked a lot more psychotic then than in the movie.
I don't know. I guess the idea is like it kind of leaves it ambiguous,
Yeah.
so you don't know what the truth is. But we also saw that the other patients in the asylum were also part of his delusion.
Yes, true.
So his fiancée Jane thought she was a queen.
Yes.
That's why she wouldn't marry him.
Fair.
All right. Do we have anything else to say about it? I think we said most of what we were going to say interesting at the beginning.
Yeah.
With the expressionism, and I think when I said the thing with the perspectives being skewed, that was a hint. So, and I think that's kind of, I mean, it's the style of what it is, but also it lends itself more to a story with an unreliable narrator, because also visually everything is like off kilter and twisted and distorted, so it's not reality even that you're looking at the whole time.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that was our thoughts on the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari as completely non-film experts. So I guess that's it. Bye. Is there a right and a left to these, or does it not matter? Oh wait, there's the left.
Shouldn't we switch them?
No, 'cause I'm on the left. Oh wait, because you have the right
two
ear.
right ear.
You're right.